Dallas, you said that Alexandra Kay had been on your radar for a while. When did you first hear the name Alexandra Kay?
Well, I following Jelly Roll and just seeing some of the stuff through there, right? Not even knowing that we were going to be looking for somebody to do a duet with. So when it was decided to do this song as a single, we looked at it. It's like this song's been on the record for 14, 15 months. It kind of feels stale. So let's get another voice on here and just has to their vocal range has to fit in that pocket and sound natural and our tones got to match and Alexander just for management and everything just really came to mind and when she agreed started hearing back some of the stuff that she had done on that and it was like our gut was right. We knew that her voice would sound great on there and it did. Brings new life to the song, right? As opposed to being stale. Be comfortable to release a song to radio now.
And the song is How Do You Miss Me? Now, do we refer to it as a refresh, a revamp? How do you refer to it, Dallas?
Yeah, I never really thought about it. I think like a refresh. I think it's sort of like yeah, a refresh is a good one.
So, Alexandra, some people know you, but in Canada, we're sort of just getting to know you. So, why don't you introduce yourself to Canada? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am from a small town near St. Louis, Missouri, and I live in Nashville, Tennessee. I have had a career that's very up and down, but just signed my third record deal. So third time's the charm, hopefully. But yeah, that's a big part of my story. A big part of my story is, I was an independent artist for the last 6 years and have had the majority of my success in my life as an independent artist. So I like to be, although I am signed again now, I like to be, a voice for indie artists and a resource for them. And so um, I do a lot of things with TuneCore and stuff like that to help artists get resources. And I'm working on my second album. My last album, All I've Ever Known, I released in 2023. It was my first Billboard charting album as an independent artist, which was really wonderful. And just finished a 6-week tour, heading out in 4 days for my month-long European tour. And yeah, it's a long story, but I shortened it as much as I could.
And part of the story includes a new single, right? Cupid's a Cowgirl.
Cupid's a Cowgirl is the first single that just came out for my new record. I just shot, all the content for the second single, which will be out next month. That's called The Last for the new record. So it's definitely, if anybody's ever heard All I've Ever Known, my first record, this next one is much brighter, much happier, and really just shines a light on this new confidence that I found in my life. And
so you were on Dallas's radar. Did you know the name Dallas Smith at that
oh,
point?
of course I did. Everybody
Okay.
knows Dallas Smith.
Okay.
Let's be honest. What's funny though is I knew Dallas just as a country artist. I did not know about Default. I knew the song. It's wasting my time.
Yep.
I knew the song, right? I did not put those two things together. So when I first met Dallas, I was like, "Yeah, you were in a boy band, right?" And he was like looking around the room because he was like, "Who told her to say this? Like, who's punking me?" And I was like, "That's what I thought." And then I put it all together, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." not a lot of dancing going on the Default stage. So no.
Oh
Not
yeah, that's them's are fighting words, Alexandra.
I know. I was like, oh my God, I literally have that moment. My social media guy was there and he has it on video of me saying that and you being like, oh my God.
Can you
And
send that to me, please?
I will.
Okay.
It's so funny.
Dallas is obviously huge in the world of country music, but Default is a huge band, certainly in Canada and beyond. Like, that's how
Right.
many of us got introduced to Dallas was through Default originally.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you mentioned performing. You guys got up on stage a couple times in Canada, right? And did the song together not too long ago?
Yeah, we did. I've been on tour for the last 6 weeks and we took that tour through Canada. We played Calgary, Edmonton, Saskatoon, Winnipeg, and Toronto. and Vancouver. And so when we were in Vancouver, Dallas came out, we sang How Do You Miss Me for the first time together. And that was really awesome, but it was a much smaller venue. We sold out Danforth Music Hall in Toronto. And so it was much bigger and a lot more people, and the crowd went insane when Dallas came out. And it was really cool to get to sing that song. And
I'm telling you.
there were people singing the words, already in the crowd. And I'm sure, there were Dallas fans who already knew it from his record. It was just really cool to see. It was a lot of fun.
Dallas could run for prime minister and win in this country. That's how much we love it.
Truly. I have another little story, but when I was at CRS, because this is my first introduction to country radio, and Dallas is obviously extremely decorated, You have the most number ones, right, for a male artist in Canada?
No comment.
He's very humble. Yeah.
That's a yes. And he deserves them all. And I'm very new to this. So it's really cool to have him just kind of like walking me through the whole thing. It makes me feel, very comfortable going at this my first time. But during CRS in Nashville, I was just introducing myself to so many new, programmers and Canadian radio. And there was like a whole Canadian radio meetup. And I was just like fighting for, my time and like to try to have people get to know who I was. And then as soon as I dropped Dallas Smith's name, everyone's like, I'm sorry, what was your name? And I loved it so much. I said, Dallas, thank you so much for being my wingman all throughout CRS. I was like, yeah. Also, I have a song coming out with Dallas Smith. It's called, and they're like, we love Dallas Smith. Everybody, we love Dallas Smith. I'm like, I know, me too.
When I check into a hotel, I check in under the name Dallas Smith now.
Hey, next time I come through Canada, I'm going to try that trick.
So, listen, you mentioned jumping up on stage. Dallas, the last time I saw you jumped up on stage with Hardy when he made his stop last summer in Toronto. And I'm wondering, Hardy was a writer on this song. Does he know that you gave it a refresh, and has he given you any feedback on it, or?
Actually, I don't know if he's aware. I'm sure he's aware. I mean, that guy's busy as busy can get. So I'm sure the last thing he's going to do is send me a note saying, "Hey, bud."
I bet she'd love to hear it though. I mean, because
absolutely,
it's art, right?
Yeah. That was I was thinking back. That was last summer, right?
It was, and that's probably the craziest live show I've ever been to as far as crowd. It was wild.
Yeah, good people watching, man. I was there. It was a fantastic show.
Yeah,
but it was weird because I figured he was inviting me to come up and do a song, and I figured it would be Some Things Never Change. So the duet we did, but then I get there, like, no, man, we're gonna do. You do Wasting Gas. I love that.
Yeah,
song.
you did Wasting Gas.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, it was great. Speaking of live performances, a few months back, you made your Opry debut.
Yeah.
Can you put into any words what it's like, the moment before you walk out on stage? What's going through your head and your heart?
Oh man, it's hard to put into words. Yes, you're nervous about the performance and representing yourself well, but like you have so many family and friends. Like I don't live in Nashville, so everybody that was there for me flew in, from all over Canada, different parts of the U.S. Not an easy thing to do. They took the time and the cost and to come and support me in that. So like that was the thing that really hit me before I went on, and then especially when I was coming off, and they ask you, how was that experience for you? Is that the only thing I could really vocalize is like that was as close to like the support and like recognizing the support I have and how big of a deal this is. So it's just being there and going, this isn't about me. This is about everybody that helped get me here. So it's very, very deep experience that will definitely stick with me for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Whenever I get to interview somebody, I like to do something fun where I put your name into Google and I'll put like what is or who is or why is before your name and just see what the top things are that come up. So Dallas, what is Dallas Smith's height?
I'm 5'10".
Okay. I think there's a basketball player named Dallas Smith. I think that's why.
Well, there's a hockey player, Dallas Smith.
Maybe, okay, so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, Bobby Orr's defensive partner.
Okay. Alexandra, yours was, why is Alexandra Kay in jail?
I've never been to jail, so I
Okay,
don't
good.
know.
Good.
Yet.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
there
yeah,
might be
no,
some country street cred that goes along with that. So just embrace it, right?
that's
So, Alexander, you mentioned that you're learning stuff from Dallas as you kind of navigate through this. Dallas, have you learned anything from Alexandra?
Uh, yes, a very, very well spoken, great at interviews. It translates over to social media and just how you can get to know somebody through, the window that they show into their world, right? So I I'm like I signed my first record deal 25 years ago. Um, and this stuff didn't exist. So I didn't really grow up in that world where self-marketing and doing that thing and having that window open into your world. Yeah, it's not really what I signed up for originally. So watching Alexandra do this and how open she is and inviting she is, it's something that I hope I can pick up on just by experiencing this single together and how she markets the song and like I said, opens up her world to this with the song.
So
Thanks,
what's
Dallas.
next? Alexandra, what's next over the next little while for you?
touring touring a lot. So just finished 6 weeks. I've been home for like 8 days, and I leave in 4 days for another little over a month. I have a headline European tour. And then when I get back from that, then I finish up everything for my brand new album that comes out not that comes out later this year, and then uh, I go on tour with Brad Paisley in June, in July,
Very cool.
and then once the record comes out, I'll finish the year off with an album tour. So
Awesome.
lots of being on the road and a new record. So I'm excited.
Awesome. And what about you, Dallas? What can we look forward to over the next few months?
What am I doing? I got some home time for the next couple of weeks, but then I pop and do some of my own solo shows here and there over the summer. There's lots of default shows. We just got back from the summer of '99 Creed cruise with like Seven Dust and yeah,
Yeah,
all
in,
of
in fact,
Hoobastank and stuff. So we got a bit of that stuff going on, north and south of the border. And then yeah, I'll be kind of putting together some new material and then gearing up for some stuff in the fall.
awesome. And I know you're actually in our area with Default July 25th. You'll be playing in Mattawa. So we have
Yeah,
a big
that's right.
festival there. So you guys are
Yeah,
headlining on the Friday night. So
yeah, we'll see you there.
Alexander, if you want to go check out their boy band, you can do that.
I'll wear my boy band merch.
Perfect. Perfect.
I'll wear my boy band t-shirt, my default boy band t-shirt.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. The song's great, and it's spinning on Country 90.5, and we appreciate you taking the time to do this. And we'll see you soon, Alexander. Hopefully, we'll see you soon, and Dallas will see you in July.
Sounds good.
Thank you so